Good morning and welcome to the basement. Today I'm going to start a 4-part series on the basic power tools that you might have in your home shop. Those tools are the table saw, the bandsaw, the chop saw or miter saw, and the drill press. Okay. There's lots of other power tools you can have. I might get to those later on, but these are the basics. Before we start, I want to point out one thing. It's not plugged in. Okay. So, to start with, there's 2 basic things to remember, safety-wise. The first is know where your switch is. If you have to turn off a power tool quickly, know how to do it. Most modern tools have a pull out and push in switch, so it's real easy to just slap the switch and shut it off. Great safety feature. Okay? My tools are a little older. Most of them don't have that. My switch on the table saw is right down here. Okay? And it's an old-fashioned flip up, flip down kind of switch. If something happens, I know I can just reach down and slap down. Reach down, hit it. Power's off. Second thing, and this is going to sound silly, but never put your hand where the blade is. You will be surprised at how many times you're going to want to do something that puts your hand where the blade is. Okay? Pay attention. Understand, where is that blade? Where are my hands? Where is my face? Okay? Understand, where are the dangly cords on my hoodie? If I were actually cutting, and I'm going to start cutting after this video, I will take the hoodie off because it has these. Those can get caught in the blade and suck my face down into it. Okay? So, table saw has 4 basic parts that you need to be aware of. And it has 3 basic settings, well, 4 basic settings with that. First part is the deck. Okay? This is a Craftsman table saw from the early 1960s. It is tiny. I can't do cheap goods on here. I have to use the jig that you saw me make a while back, that cutting fence. That's the deck. This is the blade. Blade has 2 basic settings to it. Its height and its angle. Blades always tilt to the left. That's going to be important when we get to how to use the saw. Okay? We have the fence. Fence is how you set the width of your cut. Very simple. Okay? And then you may have a miter gauge. Okay? This allows you to cut at an angle. When you are cutting, you want to set your blade height just above the top of the board. Okay? Maybe a 1/4 inch or so. It cuts better that way. It has more surface to cut, and it's not trying as hard. It's also safer. You don't have that blade sitting way up here, spinning in your face, kicking things back at you. When you cut, when you want to press the board into the blade, not push it through. And this is a common mistake. People want to go, oh, you're going to push that right through. Nope. Let the blade do the cutting. Let the blade do the work. Okay? It's not like a knife. So as you go through, You're holding it, the blade cuts away the wood, you press it forward into that space. You press it, just constant, steady pressure. Okay? And it goes through, and you'll feel it. Okay? It wants to go through nice and smooth. Okay? You want to use push stick. I make my own. I can make them different sizes. I can make them skinnier if I'm doing really narrow cuts. I can make them longer. It's all up to me. And if something happens to it, I grab another piece of scrap and make a new one. But you want a push stick. Two ways you use a table saw is to rip and to cross cut. Okay? To rip is to cut the long way with the grain. Okay? Cross cut is to go this way. Never cross cut with the fence. Because holding this at a 90 degrees against that fence is really difficult. And what's going to happen is it's going to wiggle this way, and it's going to catch, and it's going to come flying back and hit you in the gut. Okay? Now, I'm going to fake something. All right. So, I'm cutting. I've got my... Come on. I've got my fence set. I've got my height set. I'm cutting. What I want to do is I want to press this gently against the fence. I'm going to do that with my hand, or I sometimes use a block. Keep your hand well back from the blade. This is the first part where people are going to want to put their hand where the blade is. They're going to want to hold onto the wood in the same place and continue pushing forward. Oh, my hand is where the blade is. Don't do that. Okay. You hold your hand back here and push the wood past it. Okay? And I'll have my push stick and it goes past. Okay? Now, when you get to the end, this is going to go and this is going to stay here. Don't reach over to grab it. That's putting your hand where the blade is. Okay? You come here and grab it from here. Okay? Step around the blade. Now my hand is nowhere near it. Okay? Make sure that when you, as you're pushing through, that you push all the way past. Okay? And then do not reach over to grab your wood. That's putting your hand where the blade is. That's putting your face where the blade is. You slip, you're going face first into a spinning saw blade. So it's going through, you come around, you grab it, you come back. Right? Crosscuts. This is what your miter gauge is for. And here, I'm going to take this down so I can fake that it's running. Okay. You set your board in. Set your angle if you're going to have an angle. Don't hold it like this. You're going to want to do that. That's putting your hand where the blade is. There goes my thumb. All right? So, both hands over here is a really good way to do it. And push through. Continue. Let that piece fall, if it will. Okay. Hold on to this. Cross-cutting on the table saw is basically only if you don't have a chop saw. Use a chop saw if you got one. Okay. I primarily do dado work, which is cutting a groove, on my table saw, because I don't have a radial arm saw, which you can come out and back in and set that as a dado. You got to be comfortable doing that. You got to know what you're doing. Okay? But this is, again, one of those cases where I wouldn't be wearing the hoodie. There's the blade. There's the string. There's my face in the blade. All right? That's the basics. Okay? If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments below. I will come back next week, probably, and we'll do the bandsaw and how not to chop off your fingers on the bandsaw. So please click the notification, like the video, subscribe, you know the deal, and I will see you later.